So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
Signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
So young Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with Scooter Braun, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood.
Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Unearthing videos of Justin Bieber at Diddy parties. Now, Justin Bieber was obviously extremely young when he entered the industry, extremely innocent when he entered the industry, an industry that he did not quite understand as a boy who just knew how to sing and play the guitar and just did both of those things on YouTube. And then he was scooped up, and suddenly he was a part of people like Diddy going after him and saying, hey man, why don't you pick up my phone calls? There's actually a video of that. Diddy and Justin Bieber looks to be like 15 years old and said, why aren't you picking up my phone calls? And he's like, oh, I know you were trying to contact me through people and I don't have your number. And the next thing we know, Justin is at Diddy's parties.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah.
Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you tried to get in contact with me, through all my, business, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Not every scandal sparks outrage. Sometimes the truth leaves people silent, shaken, and filled with sorrow. That was the mood when old footage of a teenage Justin Bieber with Sean Diddy Combs came back into the spotlight. In the video, Diddy boasts about spending 48 hours with a 15-year-old singer. On the surface, it was brushed off years ago as playful banter, but looking back now, through the lens of lawsuits, testimonies, and hindsight, it feels chilling. Candace Owens' response wasn't anger this time, it was heartbreak. Her voice cracked as she asked the most human question of all, how was this ever acceptable? The resurfaced footage shows Diddy announcing that Justin is with him for the weekend. We're going to go wild, he laughs. Justin sits beside him, smiling uneasily, clearly unsure how to respond. Owens replayed this moment and spoke with sadness. That was a child, she said softly. 15 years old, placed in the care of someone whose reputation was already questionable. Watching this now, it doesn't feel lighthearted, it feels wrong. The sadness comes not only from Diddy's words, but from how normalized the scene was at the time. Nobody stepped in, nobody asked questions, everyone let it slide. The video continues with talk of cars and gifts. Someone mentions Diddy buying his son a Bentley. Then comes the suggestion he might buy Justin a car too. Justin laughs awkwardly and mentions a Lamborghini he hasn't actually received yet. Diddy presses, grinning, while the teenager fidgets uncomfortably. Owens highlighted this moment with a heavy sigh. That laugh wasn't joy, she explained. It was the laugh of a boy who didn't know how to escape the conversation. What breaks my heart is that no one in that room thought to protect him. They all thought it was entertainment. Candace Owens is usually sharp, quick, and fiery, but here her words were slower, heavier. I can't watch this without sadness, she admitted. Justin looked so young, so fragile, he didn't understand the world he was being pulled into, and instead of protecting him, the people around him gave him to Diddy and looked away. Her sorrow wasn't just for Justin. It was for every child who entered the industry too soon, without a shield against the wolves waiting to exploit them.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Take a listen.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah. So yeah. I just want to protect her, I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
I'm not even kidding. Watching that clip makes me emotional because he is saying so much without really saying anything. And in this one video, it looks like whatever Justin is doing, and I'm not going to show it out of just respect for the fact that I truly believe that Justin Bieber is a victim. But whatever he is doing in this video with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr. looks highly suspicious. I can show you a still from that video because I think the relevant part is Justin Bieber is not sober. He is clearly very heavily under the influence at this party. And if you remember that lawsuit that the producer Rodney dropped against Diddy, he said that unbeknownst to all of these people, they were being drugged at Diddy's parties, that they were pouring out the liquor bottles and replacing it with other drugs. He kept...
to my limits. Oh, I gotta feel that experience. I'm coming back. It's all good. Happy New Year! Woo!
In another resurfaced clip, Diddy teases Justin for not answering his phone calls. "You're acting different," he says, pretending to joke but carrying an edge of pressure. Justin nervously replies that Diddy never gave him his number directly. Diddy then insists on fixing that immediately. Owens shook her head as she watched. Imagine being 15, cornered by one of the most influential men in music, and told you're not giving him enough attention. Justin had no power to refuse. That's the saddest part. He wasn't given a choice. Perhaps the heaviest part of Owens' commentary came when she reflected on the silence. This wasn't hidden, she said. It was right there in interviews on camera. And the managers, the executives, the entire industry just let it happen. They laughed it off. They called it quirky. Meanwhile, a child was left unprotected. Her sadness deepened. "That silence," she said quietly, "is what hurts the most." Years later, Justin Bieber sat in an interview with Zane Lowe. When asked about Billie Eilish, he broke down in tears. He said he wanted to protect her so she wouldn't go through what he went through. Owens replayed the clip and grew emotional herself. "You don't cry like that unless you've lived through a Hawaii, throwers who go through something heavy," she said. Justin never named names, but his pain was obvious. He was speaking from wounds he carried since he was a teenager. Her tone wasn't angry, it was mournful. She saw a young man trying to warn the world without fully saying it out loud. The lawsuits against Diddy describe his parties as far more sinister than glamorous. Some allege that substances were hidden in drinks, that guests were manipulated, that silence was enforced. Owens described one clip of Bieber at a party, sitting with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr., visibly under the influence. She didn't show the full footage out of respect, but she showed enough to make the point. "This isn't fun," she said quietly. "This is exploitation." A boy surrounded by adults who should have known better, being dragged into a lifestyle that no child could understand. Owens connected the dots. Diddy once bragged about having guardianship of Usher when he was young, and now here was Justin, the same age, caught in the same orbit. "This isn't random," Owens said sadly. "It's a pattern." And it's devastating to realize how many children were placed in his care without anyone questioning it. Her voice cracked as she continued. "We should have seen it. We should have spoken up. Instead, we looked away. And that's why it hurts so much now. For decades, Diddy was untouchable. The media spun uncomfortable moments as funny stories. Executives praised him instead of questioning him. But now the lawsuits are stacking up. Allies are distancing themselves. The silence that once protected him is finally breaking." Owens admitted she felt relief, but it was mixed with sorrow. "I'm glad the truth is coming out," she said, "but it shouldn't have taken this long." How many lives were damaged before anyone listened? Candace Owens ended not with fire, but with tears. To the parents watching, she asked softly, "Would you let your 15-year-old son spend nights with a celebrity unsupervised? Of course not. But in Hollywood, it was treated as normal, and Justin paid the price." She paused, her voice breaking. "This isn't gossip. This is tragedy. Tragedy for Justin Bieber, who survived but carries scars. Tragedy for the young people whose stories were silenced. And tragedy for an industry that failed to protect its children." She left viewers with one final thought. Fame doesn't erase pain, money doesn't erase trauma, and power doesn't excuse exploitation. The lawsuits, the testimonies, the footage, they all point to the same truth. For decades, Diddy built an empire protected by silence. But now, the silence is gone. And at the center of that story is Justin Bieber, a survivor who should have been protected, but wasn't. Candace Owens didn't rage this time. She wept. And in her sadness, she reminded the world, the truth isn't just about one man, it's about an entire system that let this happen. The tragedy of Justin Bieber's story isn't just what happened when he was 15, it's what came after. As Justin grew older, the cracks began to show. He went from being the golden boy of pop music to becoming tabloid fodder with headlines about erratic behavior, public meltdowns, and struggles with substances. For years, the media mocked him, labeling him a spoiled superstar who couldn't handle fame. But Owens pointed out something that too many missed. Those weren't just tantrums, she said softly. They were symptoms. Symptoms of a child who was placed in unsafe situations and forced to grow up in a world designed to exploit him. Instead of asking why Justin was spiraling, the world laughed. And that laughter only deepened the scars. What's remarkable is that while the media ignored the red flags, Justin's fans noticed. Clips of him with Diddy, interviews where he looked uncomfortable, awkward moments that others brushed off. His fans compiled them, asked questions, and refused to forget. They saw what the adults around him wouldn't admit, Owen said. They saw a boy trying to hide his pain, and they were the first to sound the alarm. That sadness weighed heavily on her. "Isn't it tragic," she added, "that the people who were supposed to protect him didn't? And it was strangers on the internet who noticed something was wrong?" Despite everything, Justin found a way forward. Through his music, he began hinting at the weight he carried. Songs like Lonely and Sorry weren't just pop hits. They were cries for help wrapped in melodies. In interviews, he grew more open about his struggles, his faith, and his desire to protect others from what he endured. Each time he spoke about wanting to shield Billie Eilish or other young artists, his voice carried the weight of experience. Owens emphasized this moment with sadness, but also hope. "That's the resilience of Justin Bieber," she said. "Even after everything, he still chose to care for others. He still chose to use his pain as a warning. The lawsuits against Diddy are about more than legal battles. They're about accountability. They're about peeling back the curtain on an industry that has failed too many times. Justin's story is heartbreaking, but it's also a wake-up call. If it could happen to him, one of the most famous teenagers on the planet, it can happen to anyone, Owens said, her voice trembling. That's why she believes the silence must end now. For the next generation of artists, for the kids still dreaming of making it big on YouTube or TikTok, for the families who think fame will protect their children, when in reality, it often makes them more vulnerable. Owens ended her expanded reflection with tears in her eyes. The saddest part is knowing Justin was strong enough to survive, but others may not have been. And we may never hear their stories. Her words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Because this isn't just about the past, it's about the present. It's about every young star still walking into the spotlight today, unaware of the dangers waiting behind it. Her sadness was a reminder that fame is not protection, it's exposure. And unless the industry changes, more stories like Justin's will unfold.